They're impatient, and that's our fault. So let anyone.
Elementalists are running builds that are OP. Just kidding. Elementalists are balanced. Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
Asmir Raven's pretty standard build. Sorry, we gotta go over this quickly, but Asmir Raven's pretty standard build. Elemental's pretty standard build. Elementals seem to be running like the same exact build outright. 3 of them are running 0, 10, 0, 30. 3 of them are running 0, 10, 0, 30, 30, and then the other 2 are running 0, 15, 0, 25, 30. So not a lot of deviation on the Elementals. But anyway, we're seeing, looks like both of them are going to have 3 move into the middle. However, Elementals are going to get a really early advantage here moving onto the clock tower. Looking at a Toon defense denies at the moment, who's sort of tanking for them on the point here. So we're seeing already this cluster of clones already moving in, just looking at the middle points. Both teams have managed to cap an outer point, so we're seeing that there. And as, unfortunately, he's going to have to move up because he gets pretty low. They're looking at Riera. Let's see where she's going. She's going to head up. Oh, nice port in there. She's going to head in the middle and take on the Elementalist here in the middle. This is this is an extremely spread out fight. There's not a lot of central conflict because these are both classes that really need to dodge around a lot, not really be in the bulk of the fight. Atune Denies is trying to do that for the Elementalist, but he's not really doing such a good job at it. I mean, like, he's doing the best he can considering he's an Elementalist, but it seems he's having to dodge around a lot. What do you think is going on there, Grouch?
These Phantasm builds are going to be really strong, man. I think Phantasm Mesmer might be one of the strongest duelist classes in the game, or at least builds in the game, rather. I'm afraid of them. I play Engineer main, so like anytime I throw a grenade at him, I take like 3 or 4 ticks of retaliation every time I hit him, so I really don't like fighting them.
They did pop one of their time warps here in the middle. It's just going to allow them to take down a little too nice from Element Gaming. He goes down, however, nice job there by the Elementalist throwing down a Treb. It's actually, that's the Mesmers using the Treb there, so they're going to be able to take him out pretty nicely. Elementalists are actually going down, so it seems Mesmers are going to pretty easily gain control of the first midpoint here. Nice job by them. As Azamir is going to try to move in here on the other point, however, there's way too many Mesmers around, so he's really not going to be able to do much at this point. Again, not really the best choice moving in on his own. These Elementals should definitely be waiting together to strike together. They can have pretty consistent bursts. They just need to use it all together, which they really haven't. I haven't seen them doing that correctly yet. 2 Elementalists are down at the moment, and another time warp goes out. This is something that the Elementalists are going to have, which is going to be like really hard for, or that the Mesmers are going to have, which is going to be really hard for the Elementals to deal with. They have, I believe, they have like 3 time warps on their team, and even though quickness was nerfed, time warp is still an amazing utility in my opinion.
Oh, time warp's awesome, man. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, especially when you have it.
Actually, I know you made a comment earlier about Mass Invis. Mass Invis is actually really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing wrong with it is that the tell on it is huge. You can see the looks like a nuclear explosion from like the entire map.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, yeah, it's actually a really strong utility. Mesmer's utilities, or elites rather, are perfect, I think.
We're currently looking at the match right now. She's the only Mesmer taking on what is this guy's name? Kane Mocha. I apologize for that. Kane Mocha. Actually, the Mesmer did a pretty nice job here decapping, and Kane is gonna get her boons taken away from her because it was in that null field. But it seems now getting pushed off the point. Mesmers or Elementals are gonna reinforce this point, so they're gonna take that back and allow them. Mesmer's still holding strong in the midpoint though. No contestation from the Elementalists there yet. Now we're actually going to look over here at this. We have a little bit of a one-on-one skirmish for control over blue team's Treb. We are doing a. Now this is another disadvantage. Mesmers really aren't going to be able to kill the Treb easily compared to the Eles, which have the superior Treb killing, like bar none. So.
You know, an interesting point I wanted to bring up. Sorry, that is interesting too.
Yeah.
I want to bring something else up. You mentioned the no field stripping boons. You know, Elementals are really dependent on boons.
Yeah.
Just in general. Well, another thing with the Shatter Mesmers is that anytime that they do a Shatter, they actually remove boons as well, and they have multiple Shatter Mesmers. So the boons aren't going to be a big thing for the Elementalists in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it seems, again, I'm not too educated on Elementals, but the 0, 10, 0, 30, 30 build, isn't that a pretty heavy boon giving build, or pretty heavy team fight boon giving build?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at them right now. They've all got tons of boons going out right now,
So,
especially stacks of might.
I mean, but Elimet is in a sort of stagnated spot at the moment, but it may not have been, in my opinion, the best choice to sort of go for those kinds of builds, and they're running those builds outright. A nice job there by Riera. She has managed to get Azamir down, so she's going to take down that Treb. It's going to take her a while, but she's going to get it down.
Well, I think the thing is that you want to run like the strongest builds you can come up with, and I think that the Dagger builds and the Scepter Dagger builds are probably, I guess you could call them the Apex builds.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you're going to want to run a variation of that, and you can't really get away from running the boon builds. I mean, they're not really, it's not like running a warrior to where they actually have like a negative to having those boons on them when they get hit with damage. It just they just get stripped off. Well,
the Mesmers are running like I said earlier. We got a chance to look at them really quickly because they did want to start the game. But the Mesmers are running some pretty variated builds in my opinion. They're really not. There's 2 of them I believe are running the same standard Shatter build, but for the most part they have pretty different builds, and 2 of them are running completely like I've never seen these before builds. Compared to the Elementalists, where 3 of them are running 0-10, 0-30-30, and then the rest of them are only running a very slight deviation of a 5-point trade-off to that. So Elementals are pretty much like a pretty readable book, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, the main Ellie specs are pretty strong, but there's not a lot of build diversity within Elementalist. A lot of the traits are, I wouldn't call them dead traits, but it's very clear what trait lines you should be going down to get the most effective use out of your class.
Yeah. So
we're Mesmer has a little flexibility. There's the only main 3 builds I can think of off the top of my head is going to be the there's a Condi Phantasm build, and there's the obviously the Phantasm Power build, and then the Shatter build as well.
So we're currently looking at a little too nice. He's trying to move in here on Mansion. Maybe not the best choice. He's doing this alone. It wasn't decapped at all, so I don't know what he was trying to do there. Possibly he was waiting for reinforcements, which never really came. We're going to actually take a look at the map here. We're going to have a bit of a team fight going on here. Looking at stunning styles as soon as I can click on him. Mesmer, he's the one running pistol. He's running pistol swords. We're gonna see here. Looks like they're trying to focus down to Toon Demise at the moment, trying to throw all the damage on him, and they're doing a pretty darn nice job with it. Stunning styles is getting a bit low here. Elemental is one of the advantages, and here come the time warps. One of the advantages the Elementalists have is that they have pretty heavy AOE focus. So if the team fight goes on for too long, I think Elementals could come out on top compared to Mesmers, who are pretty generally just focus targeting.
You know, one problem with the with that AOE is that they are, like we mentioned before, they are running Phantasm builds with retail.
Yeah.
So anytime that they do that AOE and they hit those Phantasms, they're gonna be taking a ton of retail damage.
So again,
that's one of the main reasons why Phantasms are hard to beat in 1v1.
Azimir was the first one to go down, and it looks like they're gonna pop Mist to get him up. Ooh, unfortunately, a lot of the Elementals get knocked back as well because they do get hit by that trap shot. Nice job here from the Mesmer team on these trap shots. They're really sneaking them in. It's really catching the Elementalist team off guard. So that's a nice job by them. Currently, just looking at the score, Mesmer team is up by about 120 points compared to the Elementals at 204 points at the moment. We do have a 1-1 cap, but it looks like Mesmers are more than likely to come out on top here at this mid fight. As that trap did make the crucial difference there in that fight, in my opinion. And
as you can see in the mid fight there, it looks like Kane Mocha tried to escape there. He did get pulled back with the focus. Focus is such a strong offhand. A lot of people run pistol still for the illusionary duelist and the stun, but I can't stress enough how if you're running that, you should be switching over to focus.
Now we are seeing back here one of the Elementalists did manage to get a decap going over here at the mansion point, and it's actually scratched. It was over at the windmill point actually, but he did still get it off here too. A little too nice. Got the decap off at mansion, which is going to put red team a little slightly behind here in their point bring up. It's really not going to make much of a difference as they will recap it pretty easily here, but nonetheless, every little victory can help.
I don't think the sacrifice there was probably worth it. They did get the decap there, but I mean it's going to be like what, 10-15 points, and then he did die. He wasn't able to disengage either. He did go down. I don't know if you saw the burst, but he died almost instantly to the shatter.
I had gone over there just before he got bursted down. Looking at Azimir Ravenclaw, who just got absolutely destroyed by the Mesmer team's burst. Astra is going to try and res. Azimir does have to pop his misform to avoid a stomp, and it seems Sharia is going to try to come in here. Unfortunately, he's going to go down, and that's going to take them out. Looking over here, she is the only Mesmer again. Currently looking at apologies. Currently hanging out on the back point, just sort of waiting for his time to strike. Throwing out his illusion. Nice job there, putting it a little back. Elementals are going to have a hard time trying to see that, which is going to make it pretty sneaky for them. We're seeing Mesmer team closing in pretty close here to victory. They're only about 80 points away from winning compared to the Elementalist team, who are still about 275 points away.
It's been pretty decisive so far. I think the main thing for the Elementals here is they want to make sure that they can mitigate that burst from the Mesmers as much as possible, either by misforming or popping into Earth as much as they can whenever they get immobilized. I mean, the tell that a Mesmer does when he's about to burst you is pretty obvious.
Looking at Psychedelic Spy at the moment over here on the mansion point. He's a little bit on the defensive here because he's running with invisibility. Elementals, if no one actually cancel that last thing there because the Mesmers have reinforced. I was just about to say if Elementalists or if Mesmers rather didn't reinforce, then they may have won that, but unfortunately they did, and they're going to get that point back. Mesmer's just about 50 points away from winning now. They pretty much have this in the bag, but we're going to see if Elementalists have any tricks up their sleeve yet. Now, we were talking earlier about the AoE, which is why I'm a bit surprised Mesmers have been able to so decisively hold off the middle point. I would have thought that with AoE, Elementalists would have had a much easier time at taking the clock tower, but it seems that is not the case.
Now, there's a lot of sustained damage from the Phantasm Mesmers, and like I said, also from the retaliation. So anytime they're putting the AoE out there, they're getting, you're getting it back in their face as well. A lot of the AoE that they do is kind of like smaller hits as well. So it's, In a 1v1, I think, going on a 1v1 basis here as well, I think a Shattered Mesmer might have the advantage over an Elementalist. An Elementalist really comes down to sustain. They win in fights that are able to be dragged out, but a Mesmer is built on burst. If they're able to get that burst combo off immediately, it's going to be in their favor right away.
I got to interrupt you there because we just saw Riera there with a very niche, very clutch portal moving in there to just save Stunning Styles. One of the Elementalists was getting pretty close to taking him out at this point, but thanks to a last-second portal, they were able to bring her in. This is another huge advantage the Mesmers have over the Eles. They have portal. And we saw it right there. Just that clutch save managed to save them and allow them to take this point back. They just got a point, but beyond that, there are no points. Every other point is in contention right now. We're just going to take a quick look at what's going on over there. Actually, that's the same one I'm looking at now. Over to Mansion, we have another 1v1 going on. Looks like we have one Elementalist moving into Reinforce, but it seems as we're going in here, we're getting close. It seems that the Mesmer team is going to take round 1. We saw GG's thrown out, so that's going to be the first game. We'll go to the Mesmers. Nice job. Just going to adjust the score.
This is a little bit weird map rotation because we did start on Kylo for the first round. This is definitely one of Mesmer's stronger maps. I'm assuming if we go back to Forest for the next round, Portal's strong on every map. Being able to be anywhere that you want, whenever you want, is pretty strong. I guess not anywhere, but wherever you decide you could be there every 90 seconds or so, it's a really strong from ability, especially when you have so many people on the same team running Portal. You don't usually see multiple Mesmers on one team. But I think Kylo is the best map for Portal play, and I think that's why the victory is so decisive.
Yeah, so we had some very nice plays by the Mesmers there. Elementals tried their best to hold on, but unfortunately they were not really able to keep up with those team fights, and in the end they did end up losing. So we are going to move on to the second round here. Mesmers currently up 1-0 in the set. Once again, this is a best of 3. If Mesmers win this one, they're going to go on to the semifinals to take up again against the Engineers. And if Elementalists win, they're going to have to win one more in order to move on.